So she ran a tight ship. She banned me from going to the shootings. She said, like, writers don't get on the set. But I was able to sneak in for like when they were doing a lot of the daytime stuff and some of the early nighttime stuff out in Bronson Canyon at the caves, and where they had the archaeological dig and later the naked kung fu fight with Jake and Buzz. You know.
Do you know how she got brought onto the project?
I think Jimmy was a friend of Bill's, or I think Bill was his coke dealer or something. I really don't know how it was. Bill and Jimmy were friends, and that's how it happened. And Bill was friends with Jackie, and the Bean had done okay in like the drive-in circuit.
I think actually, I think Jackie's sister was dating Jimmy Maslin
At the time?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That sounds odd, because you know what? Jimmy's got a case for it.
Well, I know that, but that was early on, yeah.
Okay.
Well, she put on dark makeup. Yeah.
Okay.
That's terrible. No, and that's how, you get it, okay. That's how it happened, though, and yeah, so that was a really bizarre beginning. It was just a really weird beginning to the whole thing, but I was brought in at the very end. They couldn't cast my role, and I was on some other movie, and I met the sweetie casting director. He's like, well, we're gonna go and audition. And I said, okay, whatever. And I go up to this Hollywood Hills, right? And and I go in there and I audition. And before we get there, we're walking in. He goes, oh yeah, okay. By the way, they wanted this whoever plays this role to be retarded. And I'm like, are you serious? That's why no one else got it, because they went in here, And so I said, okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna play it slow. So then a couple days later, I did my deal. They called me up. Did you get the role? Okay, So
it really has, as Jimmy A and I had planned, because they were friends with the two actors, we were going to have the wrestler George the Animal Steel play Carl's role, and have Michael Berryman from The Hills Have Eyes play Rick Burke's role.
Wow.
And for some reason, I think they ended up to be too expensive, and then I think Jackie also liked the idea of like these, actually like pretty looking people actually doing like terrible things underneath the noses of the unsuspecting public. And I guess like George and Michael Berryman were anything but pretty. But I also thought like that joke too, because it was like, well, of course they're killing everybody everywhere, and how come you're really stupid not to know it? Because like these guys are maniacs serving you like veggie burgers and stuff like that. I like that guy. That guy was very funny.
How much of your script ended up on screen? Was
like
that
maybe 90% plus a whole lot of some other improv and stuff like that. Mostly with the brain, when it turned out that some of the takes were kind of long and could use a little extra dialogue. They just had like the guy who was playing Uncle Adwar ad-lib some stuff, and it worked out pretty good. But like almost all of it is in there.
It's so bizarre to
There's so much in the movie.
Right. That's what a lot of people like kind of like have remarked on, and that is one of those movies that like even though it has that basic plot of like maniacs on the loose and the stupid cops not being able to get them at all, it's like you never know what the fuck is going to happen next, because it's like it's kind of like a smorgasbord of derangement. Amen. But I was also influenced at the time with like stuff like I was going out to drive and I was seeing like the Evil Dead and From Beyond and the other the Reanimators. So like I was real influenced by the whole like outrageous horror comedy stuff that was going on and everything. And Herschel wasn't too happy with the script, because he doesn't like guys getting killed. He just wants to kill a few women, and he thought that was sort of the essence of it. And I think they carried that on into when he did Blood Feast 2 with the cameo from John Waters. But we tried to get another Blood Feast 2 going on the way, but it just never seemed to
just never
materialize.
Yeah.
So, Carl, it looks like this film was so much fun to make. You have like a smile on your face the whole time.
It's so bizarre to just see it after all these years, and I really, actually went at the end when my brother gets shot. I mean, I actually had tears in my eyes because Rick died a few years after we finished this film, and we made another short film or another film together just as a little parts, but it was just really intense. And he was such a brilliant guy, man. And he's a great
a lot of fun.
musician. He was in a band, and yeah, it's just really weird to see it.
I had just started a band at the time, which is like reformed, called Haunted Garage. We did like a lot of horror songs and stage routines, and we like Chainsaw Pee Wee Herman and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, I'm still doing it.
Yeah, I run a nightclub, and they played at my nightclub. I run the California Institute of Abnormal Arts in North Hollywood, and
so,
they tore it up. But it was
Rick had the band. What was the name of that? You remember his band? Rick Burke's band?
It was called the Daggers.
The Daggers. Yeah. So the Daggers in the Haunted Garage used to play all the time. Really so we were good friends. Yeah.
Kind and giving actor. I mean, like on the set, he would hang out, and like when I was doing close-ups, he'd give me face, so I can react to something. And I mean, no one has to do that. But he was very professional and very cool.
Well, him and Jimmy would get a little wasted late at night. They would like phone pranks at people we would know and stuff like that.
Well, something no one's ever really talked about Bill Osco.
Oh, go for it.
Bill Osco, I worked with him for 10 years afterwards. We made a bunch of other movies together, and I wrote a book called Lessons in Scumbag Filmmaking, based on that, And, but I mean, really, Jackie Kong was a big part of Blood Diner, but who was the driving force behind Jackie Kong? It was pretty much Bill. I mean, he was just a mess, man. He loved to embarrass people. He loved to just like set up the most horrible situations and do it in front of a bunch of people. And I was like not used to that. I come on set and like they do something, and I was like, what? I can't believe this. And then Rick, he said, dude, when they give that stuff to you, just give it right back to them and roar with laughter. I said, okay. And I did, and it was like, then we became friends. Then I helped to do it to other people. No, that's terrible. We went on and made a few other films. We made a movie called Gross Out, and that was my tribute. I grew up in the midnight movie theaters of San Francisco, so like Eraserhead, Pink Flamingos, John Waters, all that stuff. So I had to do my tribute film to Pink Flamingos, which was called Gross Out, and it was really just vile and disgusting. It wasn't real turds like Pink Flamingos, but it was just made to make people vomit. And it played in the midnight movie theaters for 10 years. From here to New York, it got movie reviews like thunderingly, gleefully tasteless. And we opened it up in San Francisco. This is a movie that frat boys should be forced to watch for hazing ritual. And I used those in the ads, when I opened it. So, I mean, it was later released. And actually a short film, the only film I ever directed was a 10-minute film called The Art of Nude Bowling. And I used an 1,100-pound naked lady bowling in it,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was, anyway, blah, blah, blah. But Bill Osco was an amazing person when we did Gross Out and a few other films, he made me do everything from writing it, producing it, being in it, blah, 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 blah. My name's not even on Gross Out, and I wrote and produced it in a minute, so, because it's not what I'm about, But yeah, I mean, like he's a trip, man. He was really, really bizarre.
Your name was all over the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Now, is that what you're all about?
No. Yeah, I did the Jeffrey Dahmer film too, yeah. My mother's so proud, actually, we came out 2 years before Jeremy Renner's film and Dahmer, and the director was saying all this crap about me. He was so pissed off that I beat him to the punch. But actually, my film, the Dahmer film, is called The Jeffrey Dahmer, The Secret Life. It got seen by Jeffrey Dahmer in prison before he died. Yeah. And I was actually interviewed in front of his door before they tore down the building when we were back to do some PR and stuff. We did Maury Povich, and I met all the family members, and this one lady, she kind of like fell in love with me. And she's a big old black girl. And I can talk like a black man, so we talked for 2 years on the phone, just roaring with laughter. And she had this like older brother or sister named Carol, who's in drag, or whatever. And Carol called me up one day and said, "Baby, you got a problem." I said, "What?" He goes, "She got your picture all over her bedroom wall."
Oh shit!
Really? She'd been taping every conversation you made for 2 years. I said, "Oh really?" Click.
Oh snap!
Yeah. But I found out from her she was the only one to go and visit Jeffrey Dahmer in prison.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
Wow.
anybody. And I said, she said, well, he signed
Okay,
them.
wait. Let's get back to Blood Diner.
How did you find Blood Diner?
People are getting
How did you-
I'm gonna sing you a song. Hey!
We're scared.
How do I find Blood Diner? I found it on videotape, as I assume many of you did. But we got a lot of movies tonight. We got one more after this.
No problem.
But I have a quick question. So tell me your greatest story from the filming of Blood Diner. Or you can think about it, and Dukey, you can say yours.
Say yours first.
I guess when it was just like it was like sometimes writing for me is like pulling teeth and stuff like that. So it was just like I never would know what thing would work, and I was like always have to call like Jimmy like every like couple of hours and tell him over the telephone what we had. And if he was like laughing hysterically and like he has this weird snorting he does too. So he laughs and snorts and stuff like that. I knew it was like really, really good and stuff like that. Plus, like I wanted to finish it really quickly because I had a relationship that was on the skids and I needed a place to stay. I think I finished Blood Diner in Jimmy's attic. Sleeping on a mattress in Jimmy's attic. I got kicked out. And
Make perfect
but there
sense.
was a lot. Just seeing it was just like really hysterical. I just like to see what I was supposed to be. The Stan, the guy who did the was the competition, and Jackie just wouldn't let me even read for it. And that was part of Jimmy and my agreement. But and there's only so much you can do. So, but I liked the guy who did it. I was really pleased with him, and everything that was in the script was in those scenes.
Was he a real ventriloquist, or
No, I don't think so. I wish he
shattered
was.
the magic of movie making? So, have you thought of a good story?
Oh yeah, well I remember when we were doing the wrestling scene, and it was like one of the last shots to be shot, to be cleansed, and I got hurt, man. I mean, he threw me down that one time, and my back cracked. And I'm like, and I went to my dressing room. I said, yeah, I'm taking a break, and they came and so dude, blah blah blah, and I said, well, you're gonna have to give me some more money, baby, amen. If I want to finish it, So whatever. They threw us both a few more dollars, So we got $20 for the homework. So
Nice.
yeah, but I mean that was intense. So, but that was the most interesting part to me. It sounds really boring.
Well, I want to.
Crawling
Couple
back.
questions and then move on.
Well, I think we're going to go on an intermission, so I'm going to invite people down to come down and say hi. And Carl has posters that he's selling that I think you guys might be able to autograph.
Okay, great.
Yay!
So let's give these guys
I
another
want
round of
one.
applause.
Thank you.
We are going to take a brief intermission. I encourage you all to come down, meet Dukey and Carl, buy a
Come
poster.
sign, my Facebook page and Haunted Garage Facebook.